halogens we know, and inert gas, all the noble gases. So in this lesson today we are going to learn this. First we are going to talk about nitrogen group. In nitrogen group, what are there? Nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. These are the elements present in nitrogen group. Now we are going to see the occurrence of this elements. How much is present in our earth and the atmosphere. We know this nitrogen, 70% of the atmosphere is occupied by nitrogen gas, N2 gas. In the earth crust also nitrogen is present. It is present in the form of sodium nitrate and potassium nitrate. Is present in atmosphere. In the earth crust we are having sodium nitrate and potassium nitrate. In this form we are having. The next one is phosphorus. The phosphorus is the 11th most abundant element of the earth. Okay, in the earth 11th most abundant element is phosphorus. 11th most abundant element. Arsenic, antimony, bismuth, these are exist in the form of sulfides, but they are very rare. Okay, only we are having very few amount only in our earth. The remaining we can prepare, we can't prepare, but it is exist in very little amount only. Nitrogen and phosphorus, it is quite abundant in the earth crust and the atmosphere. Next we are going to talk about physical properties. Physical properties of this group. Here in this group, only nitrogen exists in the form of gas. Nitrogen alone exists in the form of gas. The remaining phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, all are exist in the form of solid state. The remaining are in solid state. What are phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, and bismuth? These elements exist in solid state. The next physical properties here. This nitrogen gas is also called as inert gas. Nitrogen gas is an inert gas. You know the meaning for the word inert. What is the meaning for the word inert? It is very less reactive. Okay, so why it is very less reactive? Now I am going to say. Okay, so here in this 11th standard we have learned in molecular orbital theory, MOT theory. In this theory we know the bond order of nitrogen. Nitrogen bond order of nitrogen. It is 3. Do you remember? So what is the meaning of this bond order 3? It is nothing but the nitrogen atom is binded with another nitrogen atom by means of 3 bonds. So only one bond, it is a headwise overlap, means easily we can break. But here two pi bonds also is present. Lateral overlap also is there. So it is quite difficult to break it. Okay, so we need more energy. We have to spend lot of energy to break the nitrogen N2 gas, otherwise N2. So we have to spend lot of energy. It requires binding energy, high binding energy. So what is the high binding energy here? 225 calories per mole we require. If we want to say in kilojoules, then we can write 946 kilojoules per mole we require. Okay, that much of energy we need for the reaction, for the nitrogen to react. Okay, so that's why we are telling this nitrogen is the inert gas. We are telling. Okay, then this nitrogen, this same isotope electron species also is there. For example, carbon monoxide, cyanide. These also having the same electrons like nitrogen N2 gas. But even though this nitrogen is very less reactive comparing with this carbon monoxide, carbon nitrogen, C2 and etc. Okay, the reason it requires But nitrogen 15 is only 0.4%. Only 0.4% of nitrogen 15 is available. Okay, very trace among this person. What is the purpose of this nitrogen 15? We can use this nitrogen 15 in isotopic labeling. Now I will tell you what is isotopic labeling. We know the photosynthesis reaction. How the photosynthesis takes place? When carbon dioxide and water react in presence of chlorophyll, in presence of sunlight, and it produces carbohydrate. The food, carbohydrate, CX. OH plus oxygen. It prepares this food and releases oxygen. Now I will ask one question. The oxygen coming in this product, whether it is coming from carbon dioxide or from water. Just by looking at the equation, we can't say where the oxygen is coming, because carbon dioxide also is having oxygen, water also is having oxygen. So where it is coming? So we can't say by looking at the equation. So we have to learn the mechanism. So in order to learn the mechanism, now I am going to introduce the isotope of oxygen. We know the isotope of oxygen. What is the isotope of oxygen? Oxygen 16 and oxygen 17. Oxygen 16 is normal oxygen, where we are having in the water, wherever all the maximum oxygen is oxygen 16. Okay, only oxygen 17 is present, there is trace around. Just I am making this particular atmosphere containing oxygen 17 as a carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide is having oxygen 17 now. This water, it is taken from the air, so we can't do anything there. So let it be oxygen 16. Just I am labeling this carbon dioxide which contains oxygen 17. Now the normal photosynthesis reaction takes place and releases the oxygen. When they check this oxygen, the oxygen is liberated from the tree. When they check this oxygen does not have any oxygen 17. It has only oxygen 16. From this I can understand this oxygen which is liberated outside, which we are breathing, is coming from water, not from carbon dioxide. Okay, so like that we can learn the mechanism. So same way for in many organic reaction, inorganic reaction, when two nitrogens are involving in particular reaction, how the reaction takes place, what is the mechanism. Okay, like that when we want to learn, we can make one nitrogen, one reactant nitrogen as a nitrogen 15. Okay, this is called isotopic labeling. Okay, so these are the physical properties of this nitrogen, and now we are going to see the chemical properties of this nitrogen. Already so many times I have told in the class also, sodium, lithium are very reactive. When you keep the sodium in your hand, it will start to burn because it will start to react with even in air. When you put it in the water, in the water itself it will catch fire. Such reactive elements, okay, the alkali metals. Okay, so such alkali metals, lithium, when it reacts with nitrogen, even at room temperature the reaction can take place because of this lithium. At room temperature, it produces lithium nitride. Okay, lithium nitride, Li3n. When we balance it, now it is balanced. Okay, so when you are writing, you have to balance it right. Okay, so this is the reaction of nitrogen with lithium. The next one, the reaction of nitrogen with calcium. When it reacts with calcium, it produces calcium nitride. Calcium nitride. When it reacts with boron, it produces boron nitride. Now, this only will take place at room temperature. For the reaction with calcium, it requires a red hot temperature. Red hot temperature. For boron, it requires bright red hot. That means high temperature. Very, very high temperature we need. Right? Red hot temperature we require. This is the reaction with these elements. The next reaction is very, very important, which is Haber's process. When I say this word Haber's process, suddenly you can remember the synthesis of ammonia. Very good. Okay, so Haber's process means suddenly should come to your mind. It is synthesis of ammonia. Okay, how we are preparing this ammonia? Nitrogen reacts with nitrogen in the presence of iron catalyst. It produces ammonia NH3. Can you balance it? Okay. So here the enthalpy fusion is minus 46.0 kilojoules per mole. Okay, this is this amount of energy required. This process requires high pressure and optimum temperature. Here iron is acting as a catalyst. Okay, all these are very, very important. You may get 1 mark from this part. Okay, iron catalyst is very, very important. Okay, here this hydrogen when combined with nitrogen produces ammonia. We said the temperature how much here we are requiring is minus what is this? This is delta fusion. The temperature again we will get in the properties once again. I will tell there. Okay, now this is Haber's process. Next one, reaction with oxygen. Reaction with oxygen. When the nitrogen reacts with oxygen, it produces nitrous oxide, N2O. Okay, N2O. The temperature required here is 3473 Kelvin. Even at this high temperature also, nitrogen reacts and produces the product of nitrous oxide only 4.4%. This is the yield. Okay. After giving so much of temperature also, we are getting only 4.4% of yield only because such a lazy person this nitrogen. That means it is very, very inert. We can't break this nitrogen such easily. Even at high temperature, we are getting only 4.4% of nitrous oxide. These are the chemical properties of this nitrogen. Now we are going to see the uses of this nitrogen. One use you can say, what's the first use? Before only we said nitrogen, using the isotope of nitrogen, we can find the mechanism of the chemical reactions. Okay, so that is it is used for isotopic labeling. Isotopic labeling we are using. Then second use also we can say from the properties, that is we can prepare the ammonia. Okay, preparation of manufacture of ammonia. To manufacture ammonia, we need nitrogen. The next one, then nitric acid, calcium cyanide, many nitrogen compounds we are using. All the nitrogen compounds we are preparing from the nitrogen only. The next very, very interesting uses of this nitrogen is, it is used for cryosurgery. Surgery. What is this cryosurgery? Cryo. You know this word cryo. Where you are using this cryo? In physics, in 10th standard itself you have a cryogenic years. What is cryogenic? Very, very, very cool, very, very cold liquid we can say. Okay. So at very, very low temperature they are doing surgery. Okay, what surgery they are doing? They are removing, otherwise they are destroying the tissue, unwanted tissue from the body or plant or whatever it may be. Okay, they are destroying the unwanted tissue at cold condition. That is called what? Cryosurgery. So here, which is used to reduce the temperature such low condition. Means here we are using liquid nitrogen to reduce the temperature there. Okay, so that is the use of this nitrogen cryosurgery. So don't forget, this is very important 1 mark question. Okay, that's all about this nitrogen. So just I will recall this nitrogen topic all over you. Nitrogen belongs nitrogen family. In nitrogen family, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth are present. Nitrogen alone exists in gaseous state. The remaining things are in solid state. And nitrogen exists in two isotopic form. One is nitrogen 14 and another one is nitrogen 15. Next we have learned the preparation of nitrogen, how we can prepare. Then the property, physical property, chemical property. In physical property, you have to remember about the isotopic labeling, and you have to remember clearly the inertness of the nitrogen. What is the reason for the inertness of the nitrogen? They can ask in 3 mark question. The reason is what? Because of the bond order. Bond order is 3, so it requires more binding energy. That's why it is inert. Then the reaction chemical properties, how it reacts with the metals and how it reacts with the non-metal like hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, so react with metal and non-metal. Finally, the uses of this nitrogen. Okay, so this topic revise and write the test. Okay, the next one, ammonia, I will start. Now we are going to see the compounds of nitrogen. In this lesson we are going to talk about ammonia, nitric acid and some other nitrogen compounds. Only we are going to deal major part of ammonia and nitric acid only. The remaining just we will see what are the uses and all. First, ammonia, the formula you know, ammonia, NH3. Now we are going to see how we can prepare the ammonia and what is the physical property, chemical property, uses. Okay, in this class just I will deal the physical property and the preparation alone. Okay, the remaining chemical property, structure, uses, the next part I will say. So first, ammonia. Here the preparation, the major preparation takes place from hydrolysis of urea. Urea you may see in your home also, we are using for the fertilizing purpose. Next here is urea, formula NH2CO NH2 urea. When you hydrolyze this urea, you are getting ammonia NH3 plus CO2, carbon dioxide and ammonia is produced here. Okay, so this is in the industry we can prepare this ammonia like this. In the lab, how we can prepare the ammonia? In the lab, when we can take any ammonium salt, ammonium chloride, ammonium bromide, any salt we can take ammonium salt. So let me write just NH4 plus, that means ammonium chloride or ammonium bromide or ammonium carbon, whatever it may be. Okay, just let me take one ammonium salt. When I take this ammonium salt with one base, okay, base NaOH or KOH or calcium hydroxide, whatever may be the base. When I add here, I will get ammonia and water. NH3 plus water. Okay, the next one, I can take ammonium chloride NH4Cl, and when I treat the base calcium oxide, not only with the hydroxyl base, we can take the non-hydroxyl base also. When we treat here we will get the product calcium chloride plus ammonia plus water. Okay, these are the product we are getting. So in the industry we can prepare from urea, in the lab we can prepare from the ammonium salt. Okay, next one here, heating metal nitrides. For example, magnesium nitride Mg3N2. When I heat, I will get magnesium hydroxide MgOH twice plus ammonia. Okay, so you can get these questions in 3 mark. Write the preparation of ammonia like that they can ask. Okay, so you have to write. The next one, very very important one. Just now we have learned Haber's process. Haber's process. In Haber's process, what are the reactants? Nitrogen reacts with hydrogen in the presence of ion catalyst and it produces ammonia NH3. Okay, so these are the preparation of ammonia. Here nitrogen and hydrogen, we can take the nitrogen is prepared by the liquefaction of air from the atmosphere and the hydrogen we are getting from water gas. syngas, water gas we have learned in our 11th standard. Okay, so from the process we are getting hydrogen. Large amount of ammonia is prepared by this Haber's process only. So where we are getting the large amount of nitrogen and hydrogen mix, it is from atmosphere by equation of air, fractional distillation method we are getting nitrogen, and in the syngas water gas process we are getting hydrogen. So that we are getting the ammonia here. Then the temperature required for this one, maximum temperature, and here along this catalyst we are adding K2O and Al2O3. What is the purpose of this K2O and Al2O3? Means it enhances the speed of the attainment of equilibrium. Okay, it is actually it's an equilibrium reaction. Once it is converted into NH3, again it will be decomposed and produces N2H2. To attain the equilibrium, we are adding K2O and Al2O3. The equilibrium reaction, the Kp-Kc relationship, all these things we have done in our 11th standard. The same Haber's process, same equation we have done there. Okay, so you can recall that one. So this is in 1 mark they can ask. Okay, in Haber's process which is used to attain the equilibrium mix, it is K2O and Al2O3. Okay, so these are the preparation of ammonia. The next we are going to talk about properties, physical properties. Ammonia is a pungent smelling compound. Pungent smell, you know, in the lab we have tested. They remember that ammonium chloride, ammonium bromide is smelled. Okay, it is quite like a chili powder smell. Okay, so that is pungent smell. The next, it is very lighter compound. Okay, very lighter. We can say it is lighter than air. It is liquefied at 9 atmospheric pressure. At 9 atmospheric pressure, we can convert the ammonia gas into ammonia liquid. Then the boiling point minus 38.4 degrees Celsius. And freezing point minus 77 degrees Celsius. This liquid ammonia resembles water. It resembles water in its physical properties. Okay, the physical property. Most of the physical property of the ammonia resembles water property. Here, it is highly soluble. It is highly soluble in water. Maximum when in the book also when you are reading, take ammonia means we can't get the ammonia in the powder form and all. Just we will have in the liquid form only, liquefied ammonia, because it will exist. Even at 9 atmospheric pressure, it will be converted into liquid form. Okay, it is readily soluble in water. Okay, so maximum will have the form of ammonium hydroxide, NH3OH. Okay, so NH3OH. Now here we are going to see the dielectric constant of this ammonia is very high when you compare it with the water. Okay, here water is best dielectric constant liquid solvent we can say. We are using for the cell when anode and the cathode are kept there. The cell, in order to ionize the solvent, okay, we are using the electrolyte. The electrolyte should carry the charge for some time. Okay, you should not allow it for combine again and convert it into the compound form. You should carry you can withhold the current for some time. Okay, that is called what? Dielectric constant. Okay, this dielectric constant is maximum for ammonia. Okay, the ionizing power is maximum. Okay, now we are going to see how it works. Okay, first let me write for Just we are going to compare with the water. Ammonia, it produces NH, it is split as NH4 plus NH2 minus. When we write the dissociation constant for this equation, K is equal to, which one we have right now? The concentration of NH4 plus and concentration of NH2 minus. Okay, so this is measured at minus 50 degrees Celsius. Even at minus 50 degrees Celsius, the dissociation constant, that is the withholding power of the ionic form is 10 power minus 30. The next one, let me write for water. Water, H2O. The water will ionize as H3O plus OH minus. H3O plus OH minus. When we write the dissociation constant for this equation, this is measured at 23 degrees Celsius. Here, concentration of H3O plus and concentration of OH minus. The dielectric constant of the water is 10 power minus 14. Now we can compare the dielectric constant of water and the dielectric constant of the ammonia. Now when you are comparing these two, we can say ammonia is the best solvent to have the to separate the ions for long time. Okay, so it's about. Now you have to remember this dielectric constants. You can get it in 1 mark question. Then they can ask you to explain. You can get this in 3 mark also. Okay. The remaining chemical properties and uses